Hey everyone, and welcome right back to The Explainer. Today we're taking a close look at something we all do every single day, but we rarely think of it as a structured, buildable skill. We're unpacking a curriculum that completely demystifies networking. Now, I know usually that word conjures up images of awkward corporate mixers and forced, painful small talk, right? But today we're tossing out those corporate buzzwords. Instead, we're going to look at an architectural blueprint for human connection, zeroing in on the basic human skills that actually draw people together. Okay, let's dive into this. The source material we're unpacking today is titled exactly that, The Architecture of Social Connection. I absolutely love that phrasing because, well, architecture implies structure. It means a strong, lasting connection isn't just magic, and it's definitely not just luck. It's something you build intentionally, from the ground up, using a really solid foundation of specific, practiced human interactions. So, to start us off, our source curriculum asks us to completely redefine what networking actually is. It pivots entirely away from that whole who you know corporate mindset and focuses heavily on foundational social skills and practical interactions. This means we're going to be looking at things like offering your personal talents to others, employing active listening, and really managing your nonverbal cues. These are the actual tools you need to build meaningful, authentic community connections. It's beautifully simple, but man, is it incredibly effective. Our blueprint for today follows a classic structural rule of three, leading right into a final destination. We'll be looking at 1, sharing your unique talents, 2, the power of listening, 3, mastering first impressions, and finally 4, the roadmap to relationships. Let's just jump right into it and see how this all builds together. All right, pillar number 1, lesson 4, sharing your unique talents. This concept completely flips the script on how we usually think about bringing value to a relationship. The curriculum defines value simply as offering support in an area you excel in to assist others. That's literally it. So often we think adding value to a network means, you have to be some high-powered executive with a massive bank account or super exclusive connections. But the source material insists it just means looking at what you're already naturally good at and finding a way to use that exact thing to help the people around you. And this brilliantly illustrates what that looks like in the real world. The curriculum offers highly practical, everyday examples of this skill sharing. Like, are you good at drawing? Can you tell a decent joke to lighten the mood? The core activity here is to simply identify a skill you already possess right now and figure out how you could use it to help a friend. It bridges that massive gap between the high-level theory of networking and the real-life practice of just being a supportive human being. Your unique skills, those are the very first bricks in building a connection. Moving right along to Pillar 2, Lesson 5, The Power of Listening. Now, this is where the structural work becomes a bit more intimate, a bit more internal. The curriculum makes a really stark contrast here between passive hearing and active listening. Passive listening is just merely hearing the words someone is saying. Maybe you're checking your phone, maybe you're thinking about what you want to eat for dinner later. But active listening, as defined by the text, means actively paying attention. It means actually looking at the person speaking, and this is absolutely crucial, not interrupting them. The source notes that this kind of listening acts as a vital foundational expression of respect. In fact, the curriculum goes so far as to use this incredible phrase, listening is loving. Wow, right? When you actively listen, you make that other person feel important and heard. The text points out that being a good listener is actually one of the absolute most important ways to make people like you. It's the core requirement for engaging in any kind of meaningful conversation. People are always going to remember how you made them feel, and listening intently makes them feel incredibly valued. To actually put this into practice, the source throws out a fantastic activity idea. Practice listening to a story without interrupting. And I really want to pass that challenge directly on to you today. The next time a friend or a family member starts telling you a story, just try to be a totally silent, engaged audience. Look at them, pay attention, and let them finish completely. Honestly, it's a lot harder than it sounds, but it will immediately start deepening your interpersonal bonds. All right, Pillar 3, Lesson 6, Mastering First Impressions. So we've built the internal structure, right? But now we have to look at the exterior facade, meeting new people. The curriculum emphasizes that long before you ever get the chance to share your talents or listen deeply to a story, you've got to get past that initial meeting. And that comes entirely down to essential nonverbal cues. We're talking about really basic social skills here, smiling and remembering names. The text explicitly states that these make a massive difference when meeting someone new. They are the absolute key to making a good first impression, which totally dictates whether someone will even want to connect with you further right off the bat. So the crucial point is how you actually execute this. The text breaks down a perfect chronological framework for winning nonverbal communication. It calls for step 1, a clear verbal introduction, paired with step 2, the magic handshake, and rounded out with step 3, a genuine smile. Practicing this clear, multi-layered introduction is highlighted in the source as a major key networking skill. It's simple, it's structured, and it works pretty much every single time.
And finally, part 4, the roadmap to relationships, our final destination.
This is where we take those 3 foundational pillars, sharing value, active listening, and mastering the introduction, and combine them into our ultimate goal. The text explains that practicing these everyday practical interactions is exactly what prepares you to engage with the world confidently and kindly. You see, you aren't just networking to climb some corporate ladder, you're practicing a totally reliable roadmap to build meaningful, long-lasting relationships with the people all around you. So I want to leave you with this question to chew on today. Which of these foundational building blocks are you going to practice right now? Will you share a joke to make someone smile? Will you listen to a friend without interrupting them even once? Or will you practice the magic handshake and a warm smile with someone brand new? The blueprint is entirely in your hands now. Go out there and start building. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.